There are 2 points of vibrational relativity. There's what I'm feeling in my physical form as I'm looking around, whatever I'm looking at, and there's how source feels about same. So here I am in my physical body having exposure to experiences, and my life causes me to prefer something just beyond what I'm actually living. And in the moments, me, physical me, out here on the leading edge of thought, source energy in this physical body, in the moment that I have this idea, this preference, this desire born within me, it radiates from me vibrationally like a radio signal rocket, and the source energy part of me immediately becomes one with that intention. So the larger part of me, the part of me that is eternally, the part of me that was before I came into this physical body, and the part of me that still is now that I'm in this physical body, just became more because of me here in this physical body. I just had a leading edge experience to which I added unto the universe, and source, who is so eager for that to happen, immediately flooded with all of the resources of source to that new desire that was born. Expansion, just like you knew would be. But now, in your physical format, you've got some catching up to do, because your life just caused you and source to become more than you currently are. And you can feel, if you will feel for it, if you will listen for it, you can feel or hear the call of source. Source immediately begins calling you toward it, saying, it's this way, it's this way, it's this way, it's this way. But you don't hear it in words. You feel it in impulses. And if the impulse feels good to you, follow it. So when life causes you to launch rockets and 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 launch rockets, as it does, and source becomes and becomes and becomes and becomes and calls and calls and calls and calls, if you don't go, you feel crummy. In other words, you gotta go. You gotta go and be that which you have become. And when you don't feel fulfilled. You feel lifeless. And at best, you feel mad about it and resentful and blameful and guilty. You really came forth to become that which you have become. And in the same way that your navigational systems work, where the system in your vehicle knows where you are and you program in your desired destination, and then the system calculates the route. The system does not ask you where you were yesterday or where you were the day before that. The system doesn't refuse to answer your request because you didn't listen yesterday. In other words, the system is very clear-cut. It considers 2 things. Where are you in relationship to where you want to be? And then it will give you verbal and visual descriptions in order to help you get there. And your guidance system operates exactly the same way. Where are you in relationship to where you want to be? Follow this feeling. So we notice that the thing that is the most difficult for most of you is that you don't really have a good handle on your feelings. You have not been allowed by those who surrounded you very much to explore your feelings openly. In other words, most of you hid your feelings from those who disapproved of them in one way or another. And we think that that is the most interesting aspect of physical experience, that over time you have come to subdue and suppress and ignore and play down the guidance system that you were born with, the guidance system that promised you that if you would pay attention to it, you would have a very clear path toward your constantly, never-ending, expanding and unfolding path of creation.